I slid my fingers into the inside pocket of his coat and pulled out a hotel keycard that wasn't ours, still warm from his body, and I heard his shower shut off. The card said, Riverstone, 12th floor in silver letters like it was proud of itself. I flipped it over and there was a smear of foundation on the black stripe, not my shade. The bathroom door clicked and I shoved it back in the pocket so fast my knuckles scraped the zipper. He walked out with a towel low on his hips and his phone in his hand, like he'd been holding it the whole time. His eyes did that quick scan of the room, coat, chair, my hands, before he smiled. "Hey," he said, too normal. "I've been thinking." He sat beside me and didn't touch me. That was the first hit. He used to touch me without noticing, knee to knee, hand on my ankle, fingers on my wrist when he talked. Now he kept a clean inch of air between us, like I was the hot pan. "I read this thread," he said, tilting his screen away from me, "about couples who open things up. Like, ethically, it's supposed to make you closer." He said ethically the way people say organic at the grocery store, like the word alone makes it pure. I laughed once, sharp because it didn't fit in my mouth any other way. "We're not broken." He nodded too fast. "Exactly, that's the point. We're solid, so we can handle it." He started talking like he'd rehearsed it in the shower. Rules, boundaries, honesty, no lies, communication. He said the same words over and over, like he could hypnotize me with them. He didn't say why he'd suddenly needed this. He didn't say why his phone never left his palm anymore. He didn't say why he'd started sleeping on the far edge of the bed with his back to me. His knee bounced. His eyes never stopped checking my face. "Where is this coming from?" I asked, keeping my voice low because if I raised it, I'd start shaking and he'd call that emotional. He reached for my hand, then caught himself and let it hover. "I just don't want us to get stale. I want us to be modern, mature." Modern, like fidelity was an outdated appliance. I watched him speak and tracked the tiny breaks. The swallow before he said honesty, the way his tongue pressed into his cheek when he said no secrets. He wanted a yes so badly it was leaking out of him. "And you'd be okay," I said, "with me being with someone else?" He blinked once. "If it's respectful, if it's not thrown in my face." His phone buzzed, the sound too bright in the quiet room. He snatched it up before the second vibration finished, like the buzzing itself was a trap. He turned the screen down. I stared at his hand. His thumb was already typing under the table. "What's your hurry?" I asked. He gave me this soft smile that didn't reach his eyes. "No hurry, I just think we should talk about it seriously." He leaned forward and finally touched my knee with his fingertips, light as a test. "I've already found a therapist who specializes in it. We can do it right." The word already landed like a coin in a glass. He'd done work behind my back, not research, arrangements. He stood up and crossed to his coat, casual, and I felt my throat tighten because that's where the key card was. He patted his pockets like he was checking for his wallet, then stopped and looked at me again. "I want us to try an experiment," he said. "Like just for a month. We set rules, we check in. If it feels bad, we stop. No harm." Experiment, like I was a lab and he was the one holding the clipboard. "Tonight," he added too quickly, and his gaze flicked to my phone on the coffee table. "We could even start tonight just to break the ice." My phone lit up at the same time, screen up, a preview flashing across it before I could grab it. A message from an unknown number. "Is he with you? He said you agreed." His eyes snapped to the glow, and for 1 second his face went blank like a mask slipping. Then he smiled wider than he ever smiled at me and said, "See? Honest, transparent." My hand closed around my phone, and the light from the screen painted his wet hair blue, like he'd just stepped out of a different life. I didn't answer the text right away. I just stared at it until my eyes watered, because the words weren't even angry. They were confused, like I'd missed a meeting. He watched my face like he could read what I was thinking off my skin. "Babe," he said, gentle. "This is what I mean. We don't have to sneak around. We can be adults." I forced my thumb to move and typed back. "Who is this?" The reply came fast. "Lena, from the gym. He said you wanted to meet me tonight so it's not weird." Gym, the place he suddenly had to hit at 9 p.m., the place he started going to in Cologne like it was a date. He leaned in like he was trying to comfort me, but his hand hovered again, not quite landing like he didn't want to leave fingerprints. "You don't have to meet anyone tonight," he said, and his voice got warmer, syrupy. "We can go at your pace." But the text didn't feel like my pace. It felt like his schedule. I set my phone down face down. "Show me the thread," I said. His smile twitched. "What?" "The thread you read," I repeated, "the one that made you want to be modern." He hesitated, then unlocked his phone with his thumb turned away from me. I saw the angle of his shoulder, the way he blocked the screen like a reflex. He scrolled too fast. He clicked something and held it out. It was an article, not a thread. Polished headline, stock photo of a happy couple drinking wine. I didn't even read it. I just watched his eyes dart to the top corner of his screen every 2 seconds like he was waiting for another message to pop up. "You're shaking," I said. "I'm excited," he corrected too quickly. "Nervous excited." I pushed his phone back to him. "If you're so big on honesty," I said, "tell me who you've already been with." His face stiffened for a fraction of a second, then softened into practiced patience. "That's not how you start," he said. "You don't jump into the deep end with interrogation. That's toxic." Toxic, the new word he'd learned, the one he used like a shield. I stood up and went to his coat like I was just cleaning up. My fingers found the keycard inside the pocket again, smooth and cold, and I slid it into my own hoodie sleeve where it sat against my wrist like a secret pulse. He didn't notice the motion, but he noticed the direction. "Why are you grabbing my coat?" "I'm not," I said. "I'm grabbing my own sanity." He exhaled like I was being dramatic. "I didn't do anything wrong. I'm literally trying to do this the right way." My phone buzzed again. I didn't even have to flip it over to know it was her. I turned the screen up slowly so he couldn't stop me in time. "He's outside my building. Are you coming or not?" His face drained so fast it was almost funny, like the blood had somewhere else to be. "I didn't—" He started, then stopped, then tried again. "She's misunderstanding. I was going to explain after you agreed. I didn't want to pressure you." "After I agreed," I repeated, because the wording was the point. He'd already arranged my consent like it was a form he could fill out for me. He reached for my phone, palm up like he was asking nicely. "Let me handle it." I pulled it back. "No," I said, "I'll handle it." I typed one sentence to Lena with my thumb steady on purpose. "I didn't agree to anything. Where exactly are you?" He lunged, not full force, but enough to show me the animal under the calm. His fingers grazed my wrist and missed. His voice went tight. "Don't do this." I looked at him and realized he wasn't scared of losing me. He was scared of what I was about to learn. Lena replied with an address and one extra line that made my stomach drop so hard I tasted metal. "Please, I think he's lying to both of us. He told me you've been opening things for months." I grabbed my keys and walked out before he could build another sentence around my throat. He followed me to the hallway barefoot, towel slipping, whispering my name like it was a leash. "Don't go there," he said, and his voice cracked on the last word. "You're going to make this ugly." The elevator mirror showed his wet hair and my face with no color in it, like I'd already left my body and only the shell was still moving. He tried to step in with me, and I lifted the key card from my sleeve so he could see it. His eyes locked on the silver letters, Riverstone, and the lie in him finally panicked. "Okay," he said, rushing. "Okay, yes, I went there once, before this talk. I was going to tell you that's why I'm doing this, so it's not a betrayal." He said once the way people say just a sip when the bottle is empty. My phone buzzed again as the elevator dropped, and Lena's name lit the screen like a flare. "He's literally pacing outside. If you're coming, come now." When the doors opened, the lobby was too bright and too clean, and there he was by the revolving door like a man waiting for a reservation. Except it wasn't him. It was another version of him. Same jacket, same posture, same impatient tap of the fingers. But the man at the door wasn't watching for me. He was watching the street. Lena stood a few feet away under a tall plant, arms crossed, phone held up like a tiny weapon, eyes locked on him. When she saw me, her shoulders sagged with relief so sharp it looked like pain. "You're real," she said, like he'd told her I was an idea. My boyfriend spun when he heard her voice, and when he saw me, his whole face did that smooth reset into charm. "Babe, this is not—" I walked right past him and up to Lena. "He said you were meeting us," I told her. Lena let out a laugh that had no humor in it. "He said you begged for this," she snapped. "He said you were the one who wanted to open it because you felt guilty." "Guilty about what?" I asked, and my voice came out calm like ice. Lena's eyes flicked to him. "He said you cheated first." The lobby went quiet around us in that weird way public spaces do when everyone pretends not to hear. He opened his mouth and nothing came out, because every story he'd prepared had just been set on fire. "You told her I cheated," I said, turning to him. He stepped closer, palms out, like he was calming two animals. "I was trying to protect you," he said fast. "I didn't want her judging you. I didn't want her thinking you were naive." Naive, like being faithful was stupidity. Lena shoved her phone toward me. On the screen was a thread of messages with his name at the top and a photo beneath it. Him in our kitchen, shirtless, my mug in his hand, timestamped 3 weeks ago. Under it, his text. "She's cool with it. She just likes to pretend she isn't." My stomach turned so hard my knees threatened to buckle, and he saw it and grabbed for my elbow. I pulled away and said, "How many?" He swallowed. His eyes darted to Lena, then to the elevator bank, then to the security desk, like he was searching for an exit that wasn't a door. Lena answered for him, voice shaking. "I'm not the first. I'm not even the second. There's a group chat. He calls it the rotation." The word hit me like a slap, because it wasn't even romantic enough to be disgusting. It was efficient. He whispered my name again, softer, like he could shrink the damage by lowering the volume. "It's not like that." I reached into his coat pocket and pulled out his wallet, because my hands needed something to do, and behind his ID, there was a folded receipt with a number scribbled on it in lipstick red ink. At the bottom, in his handwriting, "Open talk tonight, safe now." He didn't even deny it. He just stared at the ink like it had betrayed him. The elevator chimed behind us, and the doors slid open, and I stepped in without breaking eye contact. He moved to follow, and Lena stepped in front of him, holding up her phone higher, recording his face in crisp, unforgiving light. The doors closed on his expression mid-plea, and through the narrowing gap I watched him reach out, fingers spread, as if he could stop a closing mechanism with the same hands that had typed my consent for me. When the elevator started to rise, I turned my wrist and snapped the Riverstone keycard clean in half, then let both pieces drop into the steel seam between the doors where they disappeared without a sound.